there, this is Beth, the Sweet Urban Living Lady, and I'm so glad you're joining me today as I go through my steps of making elderberry syrup for my family. Elderberry syrup is so good for helping build our immune system so that when things like bacteria, viruses, whatever's floating around in the air, starts going around, we take our elderberry syrup on a daily basis, we can help build our immune system so that we don't get sick. Or if maybe you do get sick, you can take it and it'll help you fight off the cold or flu or whatever symptoms you may be having, and you get over it more quickly. Elderberry syrup is great. It tastes good. That means the whole family will enjoy it, grown-ups and kids alike. Now for my elderberry syrup, I'm using elderberries from Frontier Co-op. Frontier, I've used them for years. I love the Frontier brand. They're a good quality brand. The recipe also calls for ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, and clove. Now, it calls for honey too, and I've got raw local honey. And the reason we want to use raw local honey is because the plants that these bees visit to get the pollen to make the honey, they grow locally, right? So they're the plants that some people might have allergies to. That can help build your immune system too. Now, I've got my pot here and I've got my ingredients, but I'm not going to add the honey until the end because adding honey while you're cooking it can destroy the beneficial properties. Honey's antibacterial. It's good for so many things. I've used it for open wounds, like when I cut myself, to stop the bleeding. So it's good internally, it's good externally, plus it tastes good. Another thing that I'm going to add to my my elderberry is I'm going to take this peel from this mandarin orange. It may not be a mandarin orange. It's called a little mango orange cutie. I forget what they call it, but they're like tangerines. And so another thing you can do is take an orange or a tangerine peel or something like that and put in your elderberry as well. So I'm going to eat this later, but the recipe I'm using calls for 4 cups of water. It calls for 1 cup of elderberry. Now these are dried elderberries. Some people have elderberry trees and they harvest their elderberries fresh. If you're using fresh, I believe you want to use more than 1 cup. I'm going to go ahead and put my peel in because the next ingredient is our ginger. So I used about 1 inch, or what we call a nub. I just cut off a little bit of my ginger. I washed it first. I cut it up so that a lot was exposed. And next I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon powder. Now, you can use cinnamon sticks if you want to. About 3 cinnamon sticks would do it. And so this is why I love these spoons, because they fit into these narrow jars. Next, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of whole cloves. There we go, about half a teaspoon. A few more fell out. That's okay. It'll be strong. I think I'm going to do half a teaspoon of nutmeg as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our stovetop eye onto high, and we want to bring this to a boil. So this is going to take a little bit of time to bring to a boil. After it comes to a boil, then we're going to turn it down and let it simmer. Once it's done simmering, we're going to turn it down and let it simmer for about 45 minutes to an hour. After it simmers, after that time, we'll then turn it off and let it cool for about 30 minutes before we strain it and then add our honey. So right now, I'm just mixing this in so that the spices, the cinnamon and the nutmeg and the clove, are mixed in, which is going to kind of slow it down from starting to boil. So to keep the heat in, look at all that good powder that was on that spoon. To keep the heat in, I'm gonna go ahead and add my lid. Now we just watch. I really appreciate you joining me in my elderberry syrup making project today. If you like what you're seeing, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, click the like, click the bell so that you're receiving notifications of when more videos are posted. We've got more to come. Thanks so much. Okay, I heard it start to boil, and as I lift the lid, we can see that it's boiling. I'm gonna give it a quick stir and turn it down. Now, I have a stainless steel pot here that's bell-shaped, and the bell shape itself actually holds in heat, so you don't have to turn the burner up as high. So I am going to put my lid back on, but I'm going to turn that down. I'm going to make sure we can still see it simmering, but I'm going to turn it down and make sure it stays simmering, and I'm going to set my timer for 45 minutes, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that the liquid is being reduced by half. So we can look at it. See, even though I've turned my stove down to a medium low, it's still boiling because it's so hot. And like I said, my lid, my pot is bell-shaped. So because it's bell-shaped, it keeps the heat in better than straight-edged. So, if you have a straight-edged pot, you might need to keep it at the medium to keep it simmering. Okay, it's been about 45 minutes, and we're checking to see how we're doing. It smells absolutely amazing in the house. And as we look, we can see that we may need to do another 10 minutes, maybe. Just a little bit more, because it's not reduced down quite as far as I want it to be. Okay, so we've reached the 1 hour mark, and we're checking on our elderberry that's on the stove. It's nice and it smells amazing. I can't wait to take my medicine. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna take this off the eye. Turn that off and take it and let it cool for 30 minutes. After it cools, then we're going to come back in and strain it and bottle it up. Okay, it's been 30 minutes, and now we've let our syrup cool. We're going to strain it first. All right, so we poured that into our strainer. And now I'm just going to push that down just a little bit to get some of the juice out. There's still liquid goodness in here. It's dinner time for the puppies. So there. Well, I just came into the kitchen to find out if she's going to have elderberry syrup for dinner or if she's going to get her regular dog food. All right. So now that we've done that, we are going to take and use a cup of honey. So I have raw local honey. I usually get my local honey in a quart jar because I do use, when I use it, I tend to use a lot of it because I use it for baking or like here when I'm making my syrup. But this one was already open, so we're using this one first, but I took that lid off so it would go faster because that little bitty hole is making me work hard. Here we go. Ooh-wee, this is gonna be good. All right, this is when I either need Go-Go Gadget arms or, you know, another set of arms. Okay. Got my spoon, and we're gonna, once we get this out, we'll stir it up and bottle it. So we're gonna stir this really well. We do want it to, the elderberry syrup that we've taken off the stove, we do want it to still be warm because we want the honey to dissolve in it. And so being warm makes it dissolve into the elderberry syrup. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, so now that we've stirred that in, we've got our honey in. And And you can see that now it's coming out thin instead of thick. So we can see that the honey has dissolved. What we want to do next is have some bottles prepared. Now, I like these bottles that have these lids like this, and because it keeps them, oh goodness, there we go. I can't even get into my own bottle. All right, because it helps keep the liquid airtight. So I may only need one bottle for this. This is almost, all right, I filled that up to the shoulder, so I'm gonna fill this one up to the shoulder as well, because I don't want to overflow. And then we can have his and her bottles, one for me and one for Mr. Sweet. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so all that's left is putting it in the refrigerator. There we go. Secure that one. And put the lid on that one. All right, so all that's left now is for me to label them and put them in the refrigerator. Make sure you shake it up. So that's another reason I like these bottles with this kind of lid. So when you shake it up, it's sealed. But when you go to take it, take about a tablespoon a day as prevention to build your immune system to help you stay healthy and strong. So this should last about 2 months in the refrigerator because it does have the herbs and the honey in it. The honey is a preservative, antibacterial, all that good stuff. But I don't think it'll last 2 months. I think I'll be making some more before too long. Tablespoon a day keeps everything at bay. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you like what you saw here, please be sure to subscribe, click the like button, give me a thumbs up, and click the bell so that you're receiving notifications. Thanks so much.